Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I appreciate having you here. Welcome to this webinar with myself, Daniel Langford, and then also my good friend and associate, Andrew Hereford, who is going to be walking you through this the first part of our webinar. Let me tell you a little bit about us and about this great guy that you're going to learn an immense amount from here shortly. Difference as a whole, what I like to think of it is that we are the difference. The difference between us and every other company that does similar things like this is that majority of financial institutions, almost entirety of them, work towards the 2% of the population, the people that already have assets. With difference, what I love so much about us is that we cater towards the 98%, the everyday Joe, the normal person, and that's you want to know more about specifically difference, you'll come talk to us afterwards. Shoot us an email, text message, phone call. But I'm going to get back on subject here. I'm going to talk to you about this guy, Andrew Hereford. Now, what you may not know about Andrew is that he is active duty Navy. Him and I actually met through our wives. Now, at the time, it was my wife, his girlfriend, and close friendship bonded, just like our wives. And I had prior Marine Corps myself, and so it was basically like two peas in a pod. I was artillery. I like blowing things up from far away, and he's EOD. He likes blowing things up close. And you're going to learn a lot from this guy. He's very technical. He knows the ins and outs. And if you ever want to learn anything about Excel and formulas, that's the guy you want to talk to. You want to learn how to properly invest your money because you're in the military or you have a 403b, this is the guy you want to talk to. You're going to learn so much from him, and without further ado, I'll quit blasting air out of my mouth, and I want to introduce you to Andrew Hereford.
Hey, thank you so much for that, Daniel. So, welcome. Tonight is going to be fun. Tonight is a big, huge learning experience. And if you've never seen me before and been on a webinar with me, I'm very interactive. So if you look on the right, you'll see how there's the detached sidebar and they have a couple different tabs. Well, there's that chat tab. And that's incredibly important because Daniel or I will be speaking. So that means if I'm speaking, Daniel can be typing with you if you have any questions. And vice versa. So it's going to take me a little bit to bring up the PowerPoint, but that's great because I can talk about who we are as a company and what we do. So our name is Difference Financial. Not only is our name Difference, but we're actually out to make a difference. Exactly what Daniel said. We're there to help who needs help. Not the people who already have money, but the people trying to get money. The people who just work every single day to try in the work and the grind and just try to make it happen. That's what we're there for. And as you can tell, it's going to take a little bit to bring it up. But that's what technology is. We rely on it so much, and then one day it goes away, and then we get attacked by Terminators. It happens. Not really. I hope we don't get attacked by Terminators. All right. We'll try this again. All right. So, pretty picture. All that is shows that, hey, we're Difference Financial, and we're absolutely out there to help families. Now, before we help people, we need to figure out what the problem is. And have you noticed that there actually is a problem in America? Because too many people are trying to keep up with the Joneses. Too many people are just looking for a way out, looking for the answer, looking for clarity and a cloudy sky. So first what we're going to talk about today is what the situation is, and then we're going to talk about a solution. And then towards the end, I'm going to turn over to my man, Daniel, and he's going to just knock your socks off. But first, we're going to start with me. So right now, there's, like I said, a huge situation. People are literally being killed softly. And so, as you can read in the top bullet, staggering increased debt. The average household has $16,000 in credit card debt. And I did not study. That is $16,000 in credit card debt. It's because it's so easy to swipe that card. Nobody wants to write a check. Nobody wants to deposit, withdraw, or deposit and or withdraw cash from the bank. They don't want to do it. That's what people used to do back in the old days. Well, now this is the 21st century. This is amazing stuff. Now, when I was a kid, I always thought in the 21st century it'd be like the Jetsons and all the craziness, but it's not. But one thing that we do have is ease of money. And so that goes right into the poor savings habits. As you see on there, back in the day, you were always encouraged to save 10% of your incomes. And I even remember as a kid, my parents always told me 10% of whatever I earn is going to go into my little monkey bank. I didn't have a pig bank, I had a monkey because monkey is my thing. But people don't do that anymore. They don't pay themselves first. What they do is they pay their bills. And then they buy all the stuff. Then they have their vices. They do their things. And if they have money in the end, they're going to put it away. And you see how this leads right into the next one, which is insufficient retirement planning. Because that's future Andrew's problem. I don't have to worry about that right now. Right now, I'm going to buy all this cool stuff and keep up with those Jones people. I don't even know who they are, but I'm going to keep up with them. But if you read this incredibly lengthy, we're going to get it fixed one day, paragraph, it says your average person has less than $25,000 in the retirement plan. And that's anywhere from age 20 all the way up to age 50. And that could be you, it could not be you. But the thing is, people are not prepared for their retirement. And not only are they not prepared, but a lot of people are outliving their retirement. And the final thing is, many families are unprepared for unexpected changes. So in the winter, when their heater goes out, in the summer, when their AC goes out, when their car goes out, when anything happens like that, they don't have this little nest egg just waiting to be used. Or maybe, I don't know, you might lose a job. Because that's happening these days. Jobs are just absolutely disappearing. But if that happens to you, wouldn't it be amazing to just have a tiny little cushion? So you can take that big breath, focus, and figure out what your next move is. So you don't have to do the freak out, the sky is falling. So because of that, we at Difference Financial came up with the 6 steps that's going to help you, or 6 money-saving healthy habits. And we call it the financial compass, which is way easier than what I just attempted to say. So bear with me on that. Now what these are 6 healthy money-saving habits to help you build a very sturdy financial foundation. See, that sounds way better. That's what happens with practice. So the first step is establishing that proper protection. Now, nobody ever likes to talk about the inevitable. But one day, you may not be there. And if the family loses their breadwinner, that could be absolutely devastating. And so it is nice to have a plan, just in case. But since that's a little heavy, let's talk about it in a lighter way. What if we had this magical Mr. Machine? Not the one with Scooby-Doo in it, but the one that's going to generate you money. And all you have to do is turn on and off this machine 5 days a week. That's it, 5 days. And it's going to produce you, let's say, $60,000 a year. That's it. You turn it on, you turn it off, it's going to give you $60,000 a year. Now what happens if it breaks? Wouldn't you want some sort of protection plan, just in case it breaks? Well, it's the same thing for life. And the second thing we want to do is increase that cash flow. Because why not? But before we increase it, we need to manage our expenses. We need to figure out if our ship is floating or not. I'm in the Navy, so I can use that terminology or that analogy. But what I mean by that is how much money is coming into your household every month and how much is going out. What unnecessary bills are you paying? Or do you have that vice, that latte that you get every single day, that scone, that pretzel, whatever it is? Because every time I'm at the mall, I have to get, the Auntie Anne's pretzels. They're amazing. And that's my vice. But what if you cut it out? How drastic could that change? Because it seems like a measly $3. but that adds up over and over time. So what we do is we want to figure out to the penny what's coming in, to the penny what's going out, and what holes are in the ship. What can we patch up? And then, if you're open for it, we can also talk about additional ways to earn income. And as we established is a problem in America, debt. We established that there's $16,000 credit card debt in your average household. And what makes Difference Financial stand apart from everybody else is the fact that we focus on the people that need it the most. It's the fact that we help people give them a debt elimination strategy. Now, I don't know if you do or don't have debt, but let's imagine you did, and there's just this big weight on your shoulder. And this person came in and just put all your numbers into this little amazing calculator and gave you an out-of-debt date. And that's not just a date. What that is it's a light at the end of the tunnel. It's knowing that there is a way out. And not only is there a way out, but we can show you what you're doing, and then we can show you simple strategies, there's 6 of them, and find the best one for you and show you how drastically that's going to shorten your out-of-debt date. How amazing would that be? That person that we're thinking with all that weight on the shoulders, don't you think that ease up a little bit of the weight? And not only do we do that, but if you have poor credit, we help restore it. How many companies help do that? And I don't know if you've heard of them. There's Merrill Lynch, Morgan Stanley. There's all those amazing companies. But they only care if you have assets. They're not going to help you get rid of a debt and then gain assets. They just want you to talk to them once you have money. And the fourth one is that emergency fund. Now, you're supposed to have, or we believe, anywhere from 3 to 6 months of income. And what is incredibly shocking is not just our jobs going away, but military jobs are drastically going away. The job that everybody thought was the absolute safest is going away. There are Army officers right now in Afghanistan who are in the fight every single day with their lives on the lines. And guess what? They got a pink slip. The government said, hey, when you get back from this nasty place, dangerous place, you're out of a job. So I know you're doing ops and you're not even around every now and then. You're gone for days at a time. But you need to figure something out when you get back. Your families need to figure out something when you get back. Because you don't have a job anymore. And if that can happen to someone deployed in Afghanistan, that can and absolutely is happening everywhere across the country. And I'm not trying to rant and rave about how jobs are going, but I'm trying to talk about how emergency fund is incredibly important. Because if you had that 3 to 6 months income and you did lose a job, that gave you that space to just take the breath and then start moving on with what you need to. And this one scares me more than anything, a college savings plan. So I have a beautiful, amazing 1.5-year-old son. But I'm incredibly scared for how much his college is going to cost. And our man Daniel has a newborn. So what, 3-4 weeks old?
He just hit 4 weeks on the what was it? 3 days ago? Yeah, he was a month old 4 days ago.
And college is going to be way more expensive, like 1.5 years more expensive than my son's. But the greatest thing is we can show you how you can plan now for college, because it's never too soon to plan. And then our final one of my favorite is the asset growth and preservation. Because if you have a retirement account, don't you want to make the most of it? Or what assets you do have, whether they're little or big? Because we're not here to judge, we're here to help. So if we can help you make those healthier, stronger, more stable investments. Not only healthier and stronger, more stable, but you're not going to outlive them. Some that are going to just last forever. As you see on there, we have lifetime income, preserve your estate, protect your gains. And one that we're getting to very clearly is increase long-term wealth and minimize the taxation. So here's 6 amazing steps for healthy financial habits. Now, of these 6 steps, you don't need to put it on here, but just think, which of these do you need a little bit more help with in your life? Which of these would you like some assistance for in your life? And you want to know something amazing? Here at Difference Financial, we sit down with families every single day and we put together a complimentary plan. Yeah, you heard me, complimentary plan. And it's the best plan for you because there's no size 8 shoe when it comes to your future and your finances. Absolutely not. But we can help put together something that is absolutely custom just for you. That's not going to affect your lifestyle in any way, shape, or form. How amazing is that? So once again, what of these 6 could you use help with in your life? So there are 2 things that are guaranteed in life. You are born free and you're taxed to death. When you earn it, you have income tax. When you spend it, there's sales tax. When you save it, there's capital gains tax. And when you die, they absolutely get you that estate tax. Because you don't know, you're not there anymore. So what you see right now are not just awesome pails and pretty colors, but these are the 3 IRS tax codes. If you have any sort of money or account, it fits in one of these 3 zones. So the first one I'm going to talk about is your taxable zone. Now this is your wages. This is what you earn every single month. This is interest. These are your bank accounts, your CDs, your savings accounts, your stocks, your bonds, your mutual funds. And what it means is the bigger it gets, the bigger your tax gets, and it grows proportionately. So as you see those pretty little circles, well, the dark green on it is proportionate with how big your bubbles get. Now we're going to move on to this blue, your tax deferred zone. And what this is this is most people's retirement accounts. This is your 401k, your 403b. For those people in the military, your TSP. It is your IRA or normal annuities. And the cool thing about this is you put your money in tax-free. It's great, right? Not only do you put it in tax-free, but it's going to grow tax-free. And it's going to keep growing tax-free until you pull it out. And when you need it the most, when it's the biggest could ever get, guess what? That's when Uncle Sam says, give me my money back. Because he hasn't taxed you yet. So now it's his turn to get his money back. So when you need your money, it's not even all yours. And I've talked with many families, including my own family, who thought, well, that's fine. I'm not going to need as much money. I'm not going to pull out as much money. I'm not going to have that high of taxes. But when you do get taxed, it's taxed as ordinary income. And taxes, do you think they're going to go up or do you think they're going to go down? Or do you think they're going to stay the same? Well, the way things have been going, I personally think they're going to go up. And the reason why that's important is the next one, your IRAs, your cash accumulation inside life insurance contracts, your index annuities, or your Roth TSP, this is already tax money. This is your income, your monthly income that's already been taxed. And what that's going to do is, since you've already been taxed, it's going to grow, and it's going to grow, and it's going to grow tax-free. And when you need it the most, you're going to have it, all of it, because it was already taxed. How cool is that? And the way I like to put it is, if you were a farmer, would you rather pay taxes on the seeds or on the harvest? And I've asked this to actually hundreds, if not 1,000 people. And more often than not, always hear, well, seeds, I don't know if the harvest is going to grow. But that's the same thing with your retirement funds. You don't know if it's going to grow, but you're still going to plant that seed and hope that's that big, luscious, huge harvest that you're hoping for, your big payday. So I personally would rather pay taxes on the seeds. Now this one slide right here, how much value is packed into that? So since we open your eyes to your to options when it comes to your IRS tax code, now we're going to show you options that are out there for retirements. So we have A, B, and C. Now A is actually what people utilize a bunch back in the day. And it's your low rate of return, and it's fixed. So these are your bonds and securities. These are going to be your CDs or your certificates of deposit. And they used to actually get 5 to 8%. So what a lot of people would do is have their money in the stock market, then roll it into CDs. And they have that huge, giant nest egg with a pretty bow, and they put it into this. And it gets them 5 to 8% interest, and they just live off of the interest. And the greatest thing is, if the market crashes, their money is safe. But the problem is, we're not getting the 5 to 8% anymore. What we're getting is less than 1%. And what is inflation? It's anywhere from 3 to 4%. So we're actually losing money every year if we have this account. And then let's go to B. You have great gains, but you also have huge losses. And this is going to create that amazing roller coaster that everyone just says, hey, we're in for the long haul, just hold on for the ride. And you're like, what? And yeah, you do the peaks and the valleys. You get all of it. But where are you going to end up on that roller coaster? Are you going to end up, or are you going to end up down? And do you really want to take that risk? Then the final one is C. It's index strategy. And there's some amazing things about it. You have no risk. You have principal protection and a yearly reset. And so what that means is when we put in $100,000 and the market drops, our $100,000 is still $100,000. Even if it goes down 20%, we don't have $80,000. We're locked in at the $100,000. And then when the market goes up, our account goes up. And then when it goes back down again, guess what? We stopped at wherever we were. And that's our yearly reset. So of these three, which one do you see the most value in? And this is your opinion. So it's whatever you want. Is it A, B, or C? Please put that in the chat bar right now. And just in case you did put C, I really can't see the chat bar right now. That's why Daniel's running it. I'm going to show you an example of C versus B. Yeah, this is the epic battle right now. So what this is this is a hybrid index strategy. And it follows the S&P 500. So that's the blue line. And the red line is the S&P 500. So we have two people that each put $100,000 in the year 2000. And what happens is we're going to start with the red line. What's the big old thing that happened in the year 2000 that made the market go down? And I'm going to give you a little hint. It rhymes with the dot-com bubble. And so, as you see, it took 7 years for that to come back. And actually, we'll give it about 5.5, 6 years until they got their money back. And then they're 7 years into it, and they only gained 12,000. That's it. And then finally, when they got to take that breath of fresh air because their money is back and they're starting to make some money, well, we had the housing bubble that happened in the year 2007, 2008. And let's imagine this. We're going to step away from our 100,000 or 112 that we have right now. Let's say you have $1 million and you're getting ready to retire in 6 months. You had a job you've been at for 27 years. And you're ready to just not be there anymore. You're ready to just be with your loved ones, spend time with your grandchildren, and you have finally had that amazing nest egg of $1 million that you've always dreamed that you'd have. And you just have that calendar that you're just marking down days and those big red X's. And all of a sudden, in a matter of months, and I mean literally months, 40%. So people's 1 million just turned to 600,000. They were retiring in 5 to 6 months. You think that's happening anymore? And this is causing more people to work in older ages. And this is also causing people to worry about outliving their money. You see all those commercials on there of what's the oldest person you know. Well, people are living in the 90s, people living in the hundreds, and they're 100% outlasting their money. So now that I painted that amazing picture, let's go back to this diagram. At the end of 12 years, they only get 21,000 extra. They had two devastating losses that just cut them at the ankles. So now let's talk about the blue line. Once again, this is our hybrid index strategy, and it mirrors the S&P 500. It's not in the stock market, but it mirrors the stock market. And if you think this is a unicorn, think it doesn't exist, it's actually incredibly simple, basic math, and I have another PowerPoint to show. So if you're in any way, shape, or form interested, please hit me a message on here. I would love to give you all the information possible. So what happens is, immediately the market drops. Well, their 100,000 just stayed 100,000. And then when the market started gaining traction, started going back up, they went up. So when the red line finally got some money back, the blue line already made 50%. How powerful is that? And so every time the market dropped, they stayed the same. Every time the market went up, they went up. So instead of only being $21,000 up at the end of 12 years, they were $210,000 up. And they didn't have to worry about what if a crash comes right before retire. They don't have to worry about that. How amazing is that? So I hope you got some value from that. And now what I want to do is turn this over. And, all right, cool. My back. You got me?
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
No? Yeah?
Yeah, here we go. Start screen share.
Oh, hold on a second. So you've heard me talk, and I hope you enjoyed it. And maybe I get a little wordy, but now I want to introduce you to such an amazing man. I want to introduce you to the guy who spent his entire career building leaders. As I mentioned, he was in the Marine Corps, and he didn't leave his leadership skills with the Marine Corps. He carried on to this job. And when I met him, there's just that glimmer in his eye that I knew that him and I were meant to be together, as in partners. And because we work incredibly well together, and I just like attracts like. And what I love about him is he always sees the best in people and always finds a way to push people and help them strive. So because of that, there's no better person to talk about the opportunity within our company than the man, the myth, the legend, Daniel Langford.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, well, I'll get right to it. All right, thank you so much for that. For talking me up, Andrew. You're a hell of a legend yourself. Let me get into this. All right, the opportunity of a lifetime is right here. All right, we've got a second passion. We want to help people build a strong, enduring business. But before I get into that, let me talk to you about back in 1945. All right, 1945. Shortly after that, World War II had ended, and during this time period, and from about 1945 until about 1960, it was called the baby boomer generation. Now, during this time period, during 15 years, we had almost 80 million babies born. Now, this is back whenever there wasn't as many people in America as well. So think of it ratio-wise. I mean, what happened? You had these millions and millions of service members and women who had helped, for battling for our country and for the world, for freedom, and they wanted some normalcy. So, if you've been gone for months and months and months, and you're coming back to your sweetheart, you're thinking about babies, right? And so that's what happened. For about the next 15 years, there was more babies born than ever before. And now, if you were a corporation and you had a product, the way to do it was to have that quality opportunity, you needed to have a dramatic market need. And now let's think back on that. What was the dramatic market need for, close to 80 million baby boomers, these babies, for 15 years, these babies, so what companies really profited off of that? Well, Hasbro, hospitals, schools. There was more hospitals and schools built during that 15-year time period than there has ever been before. Many of the hospitals and schools that you see now were probably built at some point in time during that period. And think about it, all right? So let's kind of follow the trend, right? To see that dramatic market need and just see how companies have capitalized on it, right? You had Barbie. Barbie blew up with the baby boomers. Gerber had been around for a little while before the baby boomer generation, but it did not really expand in growth and become what it is today until the baby boomers. A gentleman named Lee Iacocca, who created the Mustang. Well, first Mustang was created in 1964-65. All right, it was a 1964 and a half Mustang. It was created to be an economically affordable sports car. Well, that sports car happened to just be built around the same time that the majority of baby boomers were getting their license. And so now that is probably the most sold and loved sport, car of all time. And this man capitalized on it. And now let's look, further down the road, 1978 time period. Well, we had a company called, Dodge Chrysler that was going bankrupt. It was going feet up. And, same guy came in and, he threw some ideas around and came out with the minivan. And the minivan brought Chrysler back from the brink of bankruptcy. And why was that? Because the baby boomers were having babies. And so they needed a car to be able to fit them and their children in it. Now let's look at today. Right now there are thousands of baby boomers retiring every year. And it's estimated by 2030 that 1 out of every 5 people in America is going to be 65. If you look it up, 2030, the federal government estimates that 1 out of every 5 people is going to be 65 years or older. Now think about it. Why is that? Baby boomers. What do you think they're wanting to do right now? They're wanting to retire. They're wanting to secure their finances. They're wanting to leave that legacy. And so what do we offer? We offer as a company a simple and effective business system. And now, it really is quite simple. The products, get all the training on it. That our business system is very, plain English. It doesn't change. The only people that change are the clients. But very powerful compensation, and I'll get into that next. We have great economic timing. I just told you about the baby boomers. I mean, they can't afford another 2008. I mean, you go to a grocery store or a restaurant and just look at the people working there. And it's unfortunate that a lot of them are senior citizens. Those baby boomers that we talked about just earlier. And unfortunately, many of them are working there not because they feel like it, but because they have to. They need to still have the source of income because they weren't helped out. They weren't given good advice. So they didn't have somebody like us to sit down with them and tell them, hey, this is going to be a great opportunity for you, and it's going to get you where you want to be. And that's what we want to provide. We want to provide them the ability to work only if they want to. Feel like, hey, I'm 65, but I still feel great. I get tired of sitting around the house. I'm going to go work. I'm going to go do something part-time, like be a waiter, do whatever. And give them that opportunity to do it only if they want to, if they feel like it. This goes into the clear management philosophy and the capacity to do what's right long term. We do right by our clients, they refer us more clients, and that's how our business grows. Just like in the attorney world, just like being a realtor or anything that's a salesman, you're a car salesman, a good portion of their business is built on referrals. Family and friends of former clients refer them to them. I for one, have bought a car because my dad had a good experience with this dealership and this one salesman. And I know I'm not the only one. I know there's plenty of other people that have just had the same exact thing. You operate off of word of mouth. That's probably the best publicity you can get is word of mouth. And so I want to talk to you about that compensation, okay? That compensation plan. I'm going to talk to you about this one illustration, okay? The same illustration 3 different times. You have one client that saves $300 a month, and then you talk them and show them the benefits of having their own personal cash account inside of an index universal life insurance plan. And they got a $50,000 policy with an old employer that they want to roll over into an index annuity because they've been losing money on it and somebody's been charging them for them to lose money. So say the first one right here, right? You start off and you're just a referral partner. You get your license, you signed your AMA, you're now a part of the company, and you're just handing out names to some of the other agents, well, you're now a referral partner if that agent does business with one of your referrals, okay? Say they do that $300 a month life insurance plan where they're building that cash value, and they pay for the full year up front, so $3,600 for the year. All right, well, you just got paid commission $473. Say they weren't feeling that frisky and they just wanted to pay it, month by month. Well, you got advanced by the insurance company $354. That $50,000 rollover, well, that you just got a $700 commission off that. And now this is split between you and the other agent, 50-50. 50% of the commission goes towards you, 50% of the commission goes to the other agent. All you had to do was just give him your name, and you got a 50-50 split, and out of that 50%, you got your percentage of the commission. So you made $1,100, almost $1,200, and all you did was give somebody a name. You did that each month, you made $14,000 for the year. Cool, right? All you did was give a name. Let's say you move up, you're starting to feel a little bit more comfortable, you've been promoted a couple times, now you're a senior associate, and you just find time and you're doing this, you find a client, same client, a similar client with the same situation. They pay the $3,600 for the annual premium up front, and well, you made $1,350 off that. They just do it month to month. Well, the insurance company advanced you a little over $1,000. That index annuity that you did the rollover into for $50,000, well, that was $2,000 you just got in your pocket. So from that one client and those 2 examples, you made $3,300 that month. You did this each month, well, you made $40,000 for the year. I know people that work their ass off, unfortunately, excuse my language, and they don't make $40,000 a year. I work with guys who are in that situation, and it's one of those sayings that you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink, right? So let's say that you go into this all the way. You're fully committed. You've been promoted again, and now you're a regional marketing director. You're that broker level. You're like a real estate broker, and you've got real estate agents now, right? Well, that same, so you got the similar client with the same situation. Well, they pay the $3,600 for the year up front. We just made close to $1,900. They pay $300 per month, and they just do it monthly. Well, you got advanced from the company $1,418. Not bad, right? That $50,000 rollover, well, you made $2,800 off of it. Now here's the great thing. Just like how a broker gets a split from the commission of his real estate agents, all right? They're going out there, they're making money, and he's getting override essentially. The same thing here. You're getting a supervisor override. You brought him in, you taught them the business, you showed them how to be successful. They're going out there, they're making money. Well, you got an override from having 4 associates do the same thing you did, that $300 a month IUL, and then a $50,000 rollover. Well, you got an override because you're at a higher commission level, and you made $8,000 off of that. You made $12,000 that month, almost 13. And 8 of it was just because you brought somebody in the business and you showed them how to be successful. Now, here's the wonderful thing about this, all right? So, in the real estate industry, and like many other industries out there where it comes to being a broker and an agent, whenever that agent gains enough experience, say now they're promoted and they're a regional marketing director. Well, unlike in the real estate world or in the other financial worlds where they go split off, they're your competition. Well, in difference, that's not the case. They go out there, now they're at that high commission level, but the beauty of this is that you still profit from their success. Now you're getting a smaller commission override from them, from their direct sales, from their business, and say they bring on people and those people get promoted up and now they're regional marketing directors. Now your associate that you got into being an RMD, well, he's receiving a small commission of their business on top of everything. And it just trickles down like that. And it's a beautiful thing. And the system is designed to be fair and to be very generous. And doing this, being a regional marketing director and having 4 associates writing this business, and then you writing that business, well, you made over $150,000 that year. How kick-ass is that? Excuse my language, but I'm pumped. I'm excited. And I hope you are too. Take one last look at this, and let us know what you think. All right. And lastly, we're offering the opportunity of a lifetime, and for you to be able to live your dreams. The question is this right for you, and are you right for it? And we don't want to bring somebody in that's not going to do anything, because then you're wasting our time and we're wasting your time. To be successful in this, you gotta need it. Need it like you need to breathe. Think about all those times where if you're out in the ocean and the wave hits over your face and you get pulled under for a moment. What's your thought? That you need to breathe. The same thing goes with this. Think of it like that desire that you need to breathe. You need to breathe. You need to succeed. The same thing. Treat it as such. And I hope that you got a lot out of this, real quick, what's your options? Become a client, be a referral partner like we discussed, become a part-time representative, go out and write business on your own, be a full-time business owner, take full throttle of this. I hope that you got a lot out of this, and please let us know what you thought.
Hey, thank you, Daniel, so much for that. So, how valuable was that? That's pretty awesome, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I hope you got value from tonight. Do a little recap. We talk about what's the situation, what are some answers to the situation, and then if you like those answers, maybe you want more. I don't know what's best for you. Not everyone's right for us. We're not always right for everybody. But if something caught your eye, please get with the person who got you on this webinar. Whether it's just to figure out what of those 6 steps can help you out. So I hope you have a wonderful night, and please come back again. Have a great night.